YNW Melly got denied bond, but there was one W that got snuck in at the end. But let's hear the whole thing first. In the Circuit Court of the 17th Judicial Circuit, ending for the Broward County, Florida case, State of Florida versus Jamell Demons, order denying defendant's motion for Arthur hearing to set bond. This cause having come forward and been heard on April 30th, 2026, the court states as follows. The defendant previously filed a motion to set bond Arthur hearing on August 15, 2023. The prior judge denied the defendant's motion to set bond on September 22, 2023. A copy of that order filed on September 22, 2023 is attached to and incorporated as part of this order, which basically means, hey, I'm going off the same thing he said. The defendant filed a second motion for pretrial release following a mistrial on March 28, 2025. The defendant filed a supplement and amendment to defendant's second motion for pretrial release following mistrial on April 29, 2025. The court conducted a hearing pursuant to State versus Arthur on May 6, 2025. This court denied the defendant's second motion for pretrial release following mistrial on May 12, 2025. A copy of the order filed on May 12, 2025 is attached to and incorporated as part of this order. The defendant filed a motion for Arthur hearing to set bond and incorporated memorandum of law on March 25, 2026. This court conducted a second hearing pursuant to State versus Arthur on April 30th, 2026. The court reviewed the entire electronic court file in the present case. The court heard testimony from Audrey Gross, Nakia Pathan, Kevin Colbert, Matthew Norman, and Victor Delgado. The court admitted the state's exhibits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 in the evidence. The court took judicial notice of the prior jury trial, including the evidence admitted during the trial and the testimony of the witness during the trial, with the exception of any testimony and evidence that was subject to the omnibus order on defendant's motion to suppress 1 through 13 entered by a prior judge on December 20th, 2023. A copy of the order filed on December 20th, 2023 is attached to and incorporated as part of this order. This court notes the omnibus order on defendant's motion to suppress 1 through 13 entered by the prior judge on December 20th, 2023 has been affirmed in full by the 4th District Court of Appeal. Damn. So what the judge is basically saying is that because there were previous rulings, and he's talking about, and he had to be careful with this, he talked about all the things that happened after the mistrial. Because had he talked to the courts and looked at all the previous records and shit, if you ever wish payday came sooner, this might actually help. There's a banking app called Current with a bunch of useful features. And one of the main ones lets you access up to $750 of your paychecks early. If you switch your payroll over with Current, you get a full set of features like paycheck advance, fee-free overdraft, and the build card and more. There's everything in one app. I actually like that myself, which is why I partner with them. And right now, they're giving $75 to anyone who signs up using my link or scans the QR code on the screen. If you scan the QR code, it'll take you straight to the sign-up page where you can create your own account. Just go through the normal sign-up steps, enter information, order your card. After you complete those steps, you'll see the option pop up to enter my promo code, which unlocks the $75 bonus when you switch your direct deposit. So make sure you go through the full sign-up process so you don't miss it. If you ever feel like managing money is stressful and tight sometimes, it's definitely worth checking out because that's literally what it's designed for. All the previous records and shit before, I think this would be grounds to go up to the higher courts. But also, he also said, in that last line y'all heard, that the higher court said, nah to this as well. So it would have been beyond difficult for the judge to say, well, the previous judge said no, the judges above me said no, so I'm going to say yeah. I'd be curious to see what Drew going to say, but if I'm Drew, I'm just going to try to pander to the crowd. But let's continue on. Roll it. This court finds Audrey, Nakia, Kevin, Matthew, and Victor are all credible. After considering all the evidence produced by the state, all the evidence produced by the defendant, the entire electronic court file in the present case, the testimony of the witness, the evidence admitted during the prior jury trial, with the exception of any evidence that was subject to the omnibus order on defendant's motion to suppress 1 through 13 entered by the prior judge on December 20th, 2023, the testimony of the witness during the prior jury trial, with the exception of any testimony that was subject to the omnibus order on defendant's motions to suppress 1 through 13 entered by the prior judge or on December 20th, 2023, as well as the arguments from the state and the defendant. This court continues to find that the state's evidence is arguably sufficient to convict and is not contradicted in a material respect, such that there is a substantial question of fact as to guilt or innocence of the defendant. Therefore, pursuant to Gallo versus Lamberti, this court continues to find the proof of guilt is evident and the presumption of guilt is great. Well, about that bullshit saying that you innocent until proven guilty. But all right, whatever. This court also adopts the reasoning contained in the prior order denying the defendant's motion to set bond filed on September 22nd, 2023, with the exception that this court does not make any findings that the defendant has been affiliated with violent gangs, as well as this court's prior order denying defendant's second motion for pretrial release following mistrial filed on May 12, 2025. A copy of the order filed on September 22nd, 2023, and a copy of the order filed on May 12, 2025 are both attached to and incorporated as part of this order. Accordingly, the defendant's review motion of Arthur Harry to set bond is denied. The defendant shall continue to be held no bond as to count 1 and no bond as to count 2. Done and ordered at Fort Lauderdale, Broward County, Florida, this 6th day of May, 2026. Now, here's a W because I know y'all don't want to wait till the end for me to land, right? The W is that the judge basically said, I'm going to agree with everything the prior judge said except the gang part. See, the previous judge said, we deny this because YNW Melly is a violent gang member or a part of a violent street gang. The new judge said, nah. And when I first read it the first time, well, not even the first time as I read it the first time, before I got to that last line, and I'm pretty sure y'all gonna agree, the shit just seemed kind of lazy, right? It seemed like a new manager taking credit for what the old manager did. And we all the workers looking like, so you gonna deny us overtime based off of what the previous manager said because we asking for overtime right now. And your ass is saying no, and he's saying, well, I looked at the company's procedures and rules, and the company's procedures and rules, just like the last manager says, I can't grant overtime. So we all pissed off, but then he flat out says, now I did look at everything, and I did find that y'all actually can do this. Or I'm not going to say this about it. Something to that effect. Basically saying, nah, YNW Melly, I'm not saying that you're a part of a violent gang. And I think that's going to help in the long run as far as the defense goes, because the state is trying to say this. And if y'all forgot, I'm going to remind y'all. The state trying to say part of the reason that YNW Melly allegedly killed Juvie and Sack Chaser was because, oh, it's part of a gang initiation. Oh, he's a gang member. Oh, he's this. Oh, he's that. And everybody who sat and watched that damn shit was like, bro, if that happened, that had nothing to do with gangs. Now, there are rumors that Juvie and Sack Chaser used to whoop his ass and extort him and all that, and then he couldn't take it no more and finally snapped. That is a rumor that's out there. How true that is, I don't know. I ain't never talked to YNW Melly. Don't want to talk to YNW Melly, but that's what that is. But one thing that stood out to me more than others, they never addressed that fake-ass AI video, though the state brought it up. And if I'm looking at that and I'm Drew and I'm Kerry, I'm putting that in my opening statement. I'm saying this photo, video right here was brought into the damn bond motions for them to basically say he can't get bond, but also admitting that the police officers, aka the staff there, they search his damn room every single day when he leaves, and they find nothing. So the shit fake as hell. That's just me though. But y'all, let me know what y'all thoughts on this one. Click right here before it goes into members only to watch this crazy ass shit that Aries Spears tried to do. It just didn't work. Or click right here for the playlist, and I'll catch you on the next one.